Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. We've got another Necropolis video today where I'm going to be going over the first path that I just completed and then showing you the rewards opening as well as my first rank 3 champion. So if you do want to skip ahead to the rewards, feel free to do so. But what I am going to do is tell you about my first path, and the team that you see here actually is for my second path, which I started this morning. I went in against Red Goblin with Kate, and then I got the soul from Guillotine 2099 for later use, so that is in process, but I can still tell you about my last path. Now, if you want a very detailed guide on how to use Kate Bishop for this path, I'm going to link a video by my friend Bitter Steel. He actually used Kate even more than I did on 12 out of the 14 fights on the same path, so if you want the pro tips for that, he can give them to you. I'm going to try to do like literally one sentence on each fight just so you kind of get the idea, and then we'll go to the rewards. So anyway, first off, we started with Titania. I used Kate Bishop. It took me a while to get the solo. This is actually one of the more difficult Kate fights due to spacing and the haymakers, but start with Tranquilize and then put on Fragility and then Cold Snaps and you'll have a great time. Arcus, I used rank 2 America Chavez, and it took me 3 revives. I almost got it done in 2 revives. She completely is safe. The only thing that gets out of hand is when it gets into the second phase. His cold snaps are hitting too hard, so she can't, with her energy resistance, get through them. But it's a very safe fight, and you can expect 2 or 3 revives. Omega Sentinel, I tried with Knull, and I took off 66% in the first run, but then she goes armor break immune, so I had to switch to Kate. You get the Tranquilize up, and then you won't have to worry about being parried or incinerated, and then it's just a pretty standard Kate fight. You just have to watch out for auto block. Airwalker, I got a solo with Kate. At least on this lane that has the Tranquilize, it's pretty easy to do that because you can keep him in the corner and he just keeps throwing specials. Again, start with the Tranquilize to get rid of the debuffs and then you should be good to go. The next 3 fights were with Shuri. Captain Britain was kind of the first time I've ever used Shuri like in real content, so I didn't quite have the rotation down, but you essentially want to avoid critical hits, so you just have to be careful when you use your special one not to go overkill with your charges so that you get the precisions. You want to not be critting, so use your heavy to convert to critical shocks, and then if you can also parry because she's immune to Tranquilize because it's ability accuracy. So just parry. It's a normal Shuri fight, but don't crit. Similarly with Wiccan, you don't have to worry about the Tranquilize. He will potentially regen a lot of damage, so make sure you have Despair 3 out of 3. Once you get more than 7 shock debuffs, then you will completely be blunting the healing. So he was no problem. I even soloed him with Shuri. It was a pretty standard fight. Just bait his specials. You can phase his special too if it lines up. If not, you're just doing a ton of shock damage and you won't be able to regen. Psycho Man was a little tricky with Shuri. She is basically immune to concussion, which turns off a lot of his annoying abilities, but you do just have to kind of stay on top of stuff. You know, watch out for unblockable specials. Try not to push him to do his special too, and you do need to watch the prompts. So like if you miss a prompt, bad things start happening. It just kind of messes with Shuri's rotation slightly, but for the most part, you're using heavies and specials with Shuri anyway, so it's not that disruptive. Then we moved on to Guardian. I have an entire video on Guardian using Knull. I got it with 1 revive because my first playthrough strategy was not very solid, but then I figured out a better way to play him. I'll link that video in the description because I took off 88% health in 1 run with rank 5 Knull. Valkyrie, I did some experimentation on. I knew that this was going to be where like some people die and I just used team revive, so I wanted to kind of learn the fight, and Kate did a lot of work. But one thing I found out with Knull is that because her combo meter goes up, she is subject to getting darkness passives on her, and when you get 8 darkness passives, she will actually not gain power and you can just backdraft her in the corner infinitely. So there's a way to cheese her. It's just you won't be doing a lot of damage because she shrugs debuff. So if you want a really, really long, pretending it's like tyranny fight where she's not gaining power, you can use Knull. If anyone wants to get that solo, more power to you. Next up, Red Guardian. This was a Kate solo, very straightforward. Tranquilize helps you not get stunned and you're good to go. Same thing with Cap Sam. This was a Kate Bishop solo. It's a pretty easy fight for her because she has true accuracy on her specials, so you don't have to worry about the auto block at all. Dragon Man, I use Shuri, similar strategy to Captain Britain, where you do not want to crit or he goes stun immune. Just bait his specials in an appropriate way and you will be fine. It did take me a couple revives. I just kind of made some silly mistakes here and there, but it is a really good Shuri fight and she can heal on it as well, so you can use 20% revives. Captain America, again, start with that Tranquilize, really powerful utility for Kate, and I did get the solo on this one. And Nova, I kind of tried a few people. America Chavez was pretty good, but, you know, I made some mistakes. And then eventually Kate was better for it than I thought she would be. So she ended up doing the bulk of the damage. But I wasn't scared of throwing a couple revives at it. And then finally, the Grandmaster, all I would say about him is that the second phase went super smooth. I was like very comfortable with all those prompts. The third phase, it's very tricky to get all the prompts without dying when you have the reverse controls. I was having some trouble dexing the special one because he likes to do more than one hit when he dashes toward you, and I would get clipped. And once you eat a special one, you're basically done for. But bringing Juggernaut for phase 4 was so clutch. I got it in the first try because there's no reverse controls. You just have to basically throw your specials, land to intercept, and he dies. So I would say the third phase is probably the hardest. If you don't bring reverse controls, then it's definitely going to be the fourth phase. So hey, that was my first path. Let's transition to the rewards. Thanks for sticking with this video, and here we go. So here they are, the rewards. We got that 6-star Maestro. The Ascension is probably going to go to Absorbing Man. The 1 to 2 gem is probably going to go to Guillotine 2099. We're not opening Titans yet, but we will next month. And really the way to do this is to open the 2 to 3 gem first. I'm so pumped that Kabam finally came out with a technology where you don't have to select the class like as soon as you finish the content, so you have all the information. It's something that's been asked for a really long time, and we finally have it, and it's really going to come into play here. So here we go, 2 to 3 gem. I could really see any of them being good. I think Cosmic is my least wanted. I would use it on Maestro, which would mean I'd have to kind of like wait a little bit. So here we go. I was a little nervous it was going to land on Mutant, but we got Mystic. And in my head, it's going to America Chavez. Like, she already earned her spot with, you know, being an actual fighter and synergy member in Necropolis. I know I'm going to be using her on the other paths because I'm going to be using a lot of Kate. So in my head, I'm like definitely going for her. But the question is, she's unduped. So, you know, this is my Mystic roster. Like, Dragon Man is Sig 40 or Sig 60. Sasquatch I could see going to rank 3 if I managed to dupe him. But like Mordo, Dragon Man, Mangog, they're not necessarily ones that I would want. But America Chavez definitely is. I just really want that dupe. So the question in my head now is like, do I go for a Mystic Crystal now, or do I wait for Cyber Weekend? Do I open some basics? Do I do the paths maybe that have the basics on them to give myself the best chance? Do I wait for her at the end when you can select a champion? And then I was like, you know what? This is a game. Let's have a little bit of fun, and we'll just go one at a time. And, you know, what are the chances, right? There's a lot of champions in these crystals, but one of them happens to be America Chavez, and the pool's not that large. So, you know, what is it, like a 1 in 7 chance or something to get her dupe, and then just make this a complete no-brainer. So we're just going to pick one. We're going to go for that 7-star Mystic Crystal and just see what happens here. And, you know, depending on how that goes, I'm considering rank 3ing America Chavez anyway, even if I don't dupe her, because then, you know, I could always dupe her later. Or and at that power level, like, I don't really think she needs to dupe as much for the extra potency. Like, she's going to have so much attack and everything. So here I am searching for it, and I'm like, might as well open this relic. And it ends up being Vision, who I think I currently have on Omega Sentinel, but I'll probably chuck him on Guillotine 2099 just so there's a 6-star relic on her for the increased spirit gauge. So anyway, here we go. 7-star Mystic Crystal. Awakening America Chavez would be great, or getting Wiccan or Wong. And we're just going right into it, and there she is. There's Wong. Oh no, Dragon Man. And Dragon Man, no, it's America Chavez, and there's 2 of them. So that made this Necropolis run was just blessed from beginning to end, dude, because she took some fights. We got the dupe at the end. It is so it's like improbable that that happens. But you know what? We're going to do it right now. 1.2 million gold, like rip gold, but that's okay. And yeah, we're just taking her to rank 3. And I'm definitely going to be using her. She was already pretty solid as a rank 2. I think she does a lot of damage, especially when there's buffs. But now that she has the awakened ability, she's going to be getting more dimensions, and she's going to have more energy resistance and more attack as well. So, and just, you know, plus being a rank 3, I think she's actually going to be able to come close to taking off like 50% health on some fights where she's going to be good. I'm going to attempt to use her against Knull and use the regen off of her special 2. So that's going to be kind of interesting. I'm not bringing Absorbing Man for the Knull on this path that I'm on currently, and I'm hoping to get some good footage of the rank 3 America Chavez taking care of business there. If not, whatever, we'll get through it somehow, but I do think she's going to be pretty good for that. And we just need one more little brick of ISO here to get her all the way up to rank 345. I'm kind of pinching myself because this champion is definitely well known in my former alliance SSX. They're sort of like her signature champion, and you know, my really good friend Vega is a huge fan of her and has been like pumping her up for the longest time, and they finally buffed her to the point where she really is as good as so many people wanted her to be. She is a great Mystic champion and someone I'm really excited to have at rank 3. So anyway, that's going to do it for today. There's going to be more Necropolis content coming out soon. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.